Hello, welcome to my channel, or welcome back. If you have watched one of my videos before, my name is Lee, intuitive wellbeing coach and teacher, and today I'm going to take a look at the collective energy for the month of June 2025. So just get comfortable, grab a cuppa of whatever you fancy, and yeah, let's see what wants to come through for June. We are halfway through the year, and what a year it has been. And this midway point is quite important. I actually haven't really looked at the astrology for June at all. I do know that there is a full moon. I think it's in Sagittarius actually on the 11th. I'm recording this on the 2nd, so next week. And Sagittarius, just sort of top line what I'm seeing, there's lots of other people doing deeper dives into astrology. The Sagittarius is an energy of freedom. And it's connected to the 12th month. And generally it does take about 6 months to manifest and to clear and to release, at that deep level. And what I was hearing before, as I was just drinking my cup of cacao, I was hearing the word release for June, okay? Which would make a lot of sense. And as we are in the month of the summer solstice, otherwise known as litha, which takes place on the 21st of June. And then I think on the 25th, there is a new moon. So new beginnings, new moon in Cancer, in the sign of Cancer. So I'm just going to tune into that is coming through with those three things. But it really does center around this solstice energy. So the solstice is the day of the most light, okay? But what does that mean for us? What that means is we have the day of the most light, which is in and around, but generally it's the 21st of June. And then we have the winter solstice, which is in and around, the 21st of December. And that is the day of the most, the most dark, the shortest day, the longest day, the shortest day. So, in traditions, ancient traditions, it is, connected to the birth of the sun in the winter solstice. So what I'm seeing, this year has been quite a strong energy year. A lot of people have been going through a lot of stuff. It just feels like it's never ending with stuff coming up, because it is a number 9 year of karma, completion, release as well, okay? But I do feel that we are moving from the dark to the light is what I'm hearing, which would make sense. So we've been in a sort of a shadow phase for the first 6 months of this year. Since the winter solstice, and we are slowly moving towards the light, towards the longest day, the day with the most light, which is we've been releasing and clearing a lot of stuff in our shadow, our darkness, the darkness around us collectively, as well as we move towards this light, okay? So what I'm hearing in June, we have, 3 weeks until the solstice as I record this. So stuff could be coming up, really deep stuff. When you call stuff in, when you set goals or intentions, or just I want to manifest this and I want to call this in, we forget that obstacles come up to be released, okay? It is not a simple unicorns and rainbow process. It's really deep work, okay? You'll have good days and bad days, or what I call, you'll have feminine days and masculine days, okay? Feminine days is when you'll be called to go quiet, you'll be called to go within, you might struggle emotionally, you might feel completely exhausted, you might feel a wee bit down. Just surrender and hold yourself in those days. And when you can do that, they will be shorter, and they will not feel as intense. And then you'll have the masculine days, and the feminine days are connected to the moon and reflection, and then the masculine days are connected to your masculine, you're moving forward, your sun, okay? And even within the week, there is masculine and feminine days. Today is Monday, okay? Monday is moon day. It's connected to the moon. We're not meant to do too much on a Monday, okay? Tuesday, oh golly, I'm trying to remember. I know Wednesday is Mercury, and that's about communication. And Friday is Venus, which is the feminine, and love. And Saturday is Saturn. And Sunday is obviously the sun, but I can't remember. Tuesday and Thursday are quite action days. I think one is Mars, maybe. But yeah, so that's when I would probably do my most work with clients. Would be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and I try and just sort of take it easy on the Monday, Tuesday, and do maybe just some coaching, mentorship coaching, and maybe some videos and things like that, okay? Doesn't always work out that way, but Yeah. So back to what I was talking about, the feminine and masculine, all right? And this solstice energy, all right? This is otherwise known as litha. And yeah, it is. I don't think one of the things I want to do is to sort of bring these ancient teachings to the collective, which I know a lot of people do. So this awareness that, okay, we have actually got 8 seasons in a year, we don't have 4. And it's not as simple as winter, summer, autumn, spring. So this is another season, okay, coming from Beltane into Litha, which is the summer. All right. So we will connect with those energies, and whenever there is a full moon, so there's a release of a full moon next week, so we will be probably releasing this week for that full moon, okay, releasing. So you might notice things connected to feeling trapped, or I'm wanting to do this and wanting to do that, or let me think, Sagittarius is connected to adventure, wanting more fun, maybe feeling bored and agitated and non-fulfilled, possibly could be coming up. We'll look at the cards and see. And so just be in that beautiful place of awareness and acknowledging that part of you, instead of ignoring it because you can't fix it, ignoring it because you don't know what it is, okay? And then we will be building up to the solstice, and then we have the new moon, which is new beginnings in Cancer, coming in after that at the end of the month, okay? And then, this is a number 6 month, and I always just associate number 6 with love, unconditional love, okay, with harmony, with balance. It is, it's sort of like half of a number 8, okay? So we're building up to the Lion's Gate, which is abundance. So this is a time for a reset with whatever intentions or goals or New Year's resolutions you set, with the winter solstice at Christmas, to re-look at them, review them, what needs tweaked, what needs changes. We are entering into a new timeline. So we're being asked to stop and review before we move forward. Stop and connect with any self-sabotaging parts of us that are not aligned with our vision. Maybe due to different trauma or different things that was going on for them at particular times. That's what I've been doing with a lot of one-to-one clients, is they're getting ready, they're feeling this energy to move forward and things are good, but then there's like a couple of parts of them are not in alignment. So it's about connecting back with what ages they are, okay, which is really, really important. Okay, so let's ask for a word. Let's ask for a word for June. I'm going to try and keep this simple with very few cards. So a word for June collectively. So commitment. This feels quite important. Commitment. Okay. Commitment and compassion. We have commitment, compassion, and freedom. So that makes sense. Okay. I'm going to actually put my glasses on. So I've been feeling this also. Are you committed to you? Are you committed to your vision? And if you truly are you committed to calling in more abundance, calling in love, or whatever your goals are that you set maybe at the start of this year, have you actually well and truly stepped into an action and a commitment? And that, when I hear the word commitment, I hear the word sacrifice. So some things need to be sacrificed. If you're wanting to look at exercise or look at diet, what I suppose what must move or change in order for that to happen, because it doesn't really happen just sitting back doing nothing. Okay, there does need to be an action, And then the word compassion. Okay, so feeling compassion for those parts of you that are maybe not committed, not in alignment. So that seems similar. So commitment and alignment. Those parts of you that are not in alignment with this vision, that are scared, that are still maybe trapped in a trauma in the past, okay? So be compassionate with those parts of you. Be compassionate with others. See how you think about others around you is actually a really good indication of how you feel about yourself, okay? When you truly love and value yourself, you will see that in others around you. So compassion is key. So hold those parts of you. And we can be inclined to blame others. The mirror work is fabulous. I always recommend that book, The Dark Side of the Light Chasers. So if you're getting triggered by other people and they're irritating you, what aspect of them is irritating you? And do you have an aspect of that within yourself, or did you in the past? And connect with that part of you and show them love and compassion and integrate them. And you will find that was just a trigger you know, to get you towards the wound. And I'm hearing Rumi quote, the wound is where the light enters, as we're talking about the light. And then we have freedom. Okay, I do think most of us crave freedom, to be honest. So I just feel like I'm hearing Freddie Mercury, I want to break free for many people. So, you know, I'm just hearing many people are going to be getting their wings. Freedom is power, is calling back your power, you know, not giving it away. We don't realize that we subconsciously do give it away, you know. I cannot waste that cacao and I cannot drink it cold. So apologies, that's me done with the slurping. Okay, so let's ask for what main guide is with us and everyone watching here collectively for the month of June that we can really resonate with and get clear guidance on, please. Lady Nada. It's just really interesting that we were talking about the heart there. We weren't talking about the heart. We're talking about cacao. And cacao is a heart opener and it's a heart healer and all of that. And then we have Lady Nada. So she is all about the heart. Look at that beautiful rose. It's funny, I'm wearing like a rose brown shirt. Whatever. It's just like a rose. What's the word? Tone. Expanded heart, openness, liberation, let yourself love and be loved. Yeah, that's what I was just saying. If you can love those parts of you, you will see that in everyone around you, you know. So this heart expansion is happening in June, and I suppose what June is connected to unconditional love and partnership and union. Okay, but you must find that union within yourself. Okay, and then the card at the bottom there is Kuthumi. So we are going to go through an initiation in June. Your current situation is initiating your gifts. So that means that a lot of people are going through a lot of stuff. They really are. You know, like I'm saying, there's so much love out there. Words can't describe the stuff that is going on, but it will feel like you don't know what's happening. You could feel tired one minute, energized the next, triggered one minute, like what, you know, just maybe wanting to run away, like why does this keep happening? Just trust that everything is happening around you is for our highest good, and there once you get past the lessons, but just keep yourself safe. Don't allow, you know, anybody to treat you bad. You know, have like boundaries in place until you can feel a lot stronger to deal with stuff. Don't put yourself under major pressure to do anything that is beyond, you know, like major diet and exercise. Start off really slowly and just connect with the baby steps is what I'm hearing, okay? But it is initiating your gifts. And generally you won't see that right now, okay? Yeah, stay connected to the earth, Mother Gaia. Simple things like a cup of cacao a day keeps the something away. So, earth connection, stay rooted in trust and faith. Yeah, trust, and that is very much a card connected to cacao because of the rainbow, you know, and balancing of the chakras, I'm hearing, okay? Divine mission, enlightened action, make choices from the heart. We all have a divine mission of some sort. Some of us are just here in pawns, you know, we're just space holders, and others are, you know, meant to trigger and cause chaos, and others are meant to move forward. So we all, you know, so just trust that everybody has a role to play, and just you stay in your lane, just stay in your lane and allow it all to play out. There is a massive fall collectively of the dark, of darker agendas, you know, of you know, that old top-down structure, that ego structure that has ruled, you know, for a long time, and we are now moving into more of a heart-centered consciousness. But, you know, in order to move towards the light, to move towards the, you know, the heart, then the lower energies and that dark needs to come to the surface, to be released, to be healed, to be cleared. Okay, and that is collectively, so that will be happening within as well. Okay, yeah. Order of Michelle's deck. Okay, embraced by light, mission uncovered, don't give up. That is the message. Please don't give up. If you're really feeling it, know that you're on the right path. I always, you know, hear breakdown before breakthrough. And it really holds me instead when I'm feeling really intense stuff. I know that I'm clearing something big, even if I don't know what it is, and just fully hold yourself, fully just pull back into you. What do I need in this moment? What do I need in this moment? And you just take each moment by moment by moment, okay? And just don't give up, okay? We are clearing a lot of karma. There's a karmic board clearing. You know, karma, this is a number 9 year of karma. It is the year of the snakes. Kundalini snakes are fears. Lots of deep stuff is coming up. And you need to be having some sort of a daily practice to ground, some sort of a daily practice to sit with yourself. If you're not, it will come up through triggers around you. You don't need to go looking. And again, also don't get lost in a daily practice. Also, don't make that a to-do or a distraction also. But just, you know, try and find a balance is what I would say. And look at everything around you, because there's symbolism everywhere. All right. Energetic clearing, rewrite your story, live your truth. Okay. Let me just look at that for a wee second. Yeah, rewrite your story feels really important. And in order to do that, if you imagine we're going back to a 0 point, we're clearing, but then we're gonna like write a new story. But what does that look like? You know, what would you like? What are you calling in? Some of us stay very, very safe with what we're calling in, and just like, but just actually you can have more. You can have whatever you want, but just start to think about what that is, so that at least the universe can start to bring that towards you. Okay. And then we have like abundance downloads. This is what everybody's been feeling. We had a massive solar flare yesterday. And that brings in lots and lots of codes and, you know, downloads, and you cannot make sense of that in the moment. You just have to lie down to receive it. You just have to rest. It is why it's been sunny for like weeks, and now it's quite the weather's a wee bit heavy. There's some rain, and that's to help integrate the downloads for success. Abundance downloads from the sun there. That's the solstice energy that is coming in on the 21st of this month. It is big this year. Okay. And I'm hearing, obviously, there's the 6/6 portal, which is this Friday, and it is a number 9 years. So I'm hearing 669 is a very important code. And it's a very important code to help you just trust your own judgment, stay in your own integrity, stay in your own lane. Don't look outside of yourself. All of the answers are within and are around you. Yeah, that feels nice. Yeah, there's just the card at the bottom there. Wounds are being healed. You're recharging right now. So that might be why then we were hearing release. Okay, so let's ask for one animal card for the month of June, please, to help us. The beaver. The beaver. I'm here, just keep beavering away, keep working away. I'm just seeing a wee beaver underneath. You're working down through your roots and under the earth so that you can build upon, you know, because we haven't seen what you're building yet, you haven't seen that sort of take hold, you're doubting. But what happens is we do the roots, and that is, if you think about gardening, you know, you're doing the roots in the soil and the roots of the plant and seeds first, and then you watch it bloom. But the work is all in the preparation. So that's what, you know, you'll be focused on. And I notice with many people that work with me, everybody actually, they'll be ticking along, and I'll feel very slow at the start as we weed our way through some of the heaviness and the shadow work, and then suddenly this shift comes in and you just feel like a different person. You start doing things differently, reacting less. That is how it happens. It just, boom, it just comes in when you are committed and consistent, compassion with yourself. This freedom will come. Remember those 3 words, okay? And I also am seeing here, this obviously does say work on it. So there's work as in your internal work, beavering away at that, but also your work. So a lot of work things are coming up. What am I here to do? What is my mission? And that's what I'm seeing in a lot of people. And we are going back to the inner teenager, because that is when you made decisions about your path. You know, whether you went to uni, whether you went to college, you know, whether you started working. So, you know, connect back to her, to him or her, because she was quite important. He was quite important, he or she. And holds the key, and also very misunderstood. Our inner teenager is very, very, it was a difficult time So we can shut down that part of us. I'm seeing a lot of anger and irritation coming up with a lot of people, and it's just suppressed. And anger is just an emotion, just like happiness and joy. So it just needs seen, felt, and released. Also shame, I'm hearing, and I know that came up in last month's, but shame can be quite a consistent one. And you can carry, as an inner teenager, a lot of stuff can be dumped on them, subconsciously as well. Yeah, groundedness, the armadillo. So just putting that protection around you, staying grounded. I'm hearing just not absorbing other people's stuff. Again, there is the sun there. The sun is guiding us home. You're being asked to really ground deep into the earth, okay, at this time. Okay. So I'm going to ask for 3 or 4 tarot to help us with guidance, action guidance. Like, let's see if we can get some juicy stuff here to help you in the month of June. Okay, so we'll have that card. Collective, please. Okay. So the card at the bottom is cornucopia. That is what the solstice energy is all about. It's all about abundance and receiving. And the cornucopia, look at that. That is the perfect card. The 11th, and didn't I say there is a full moon on the 11th? Yeah, full moon in Sagittarius. So we're releasing to manifest what you're calling in, okay? So the first card is the thinking man, all right? Look at that card for a wee second. The thinking man, and he's holding a crystal. I'm going to just read all of the cards. Then we have the healer of the ages. And then man holding a coin. Lots of men here. And the sun. And I love this. Oh, that is probably the best card you could get. All right. This solstice this year is really powerful. So this thinking man, all right. There is a lot of stuff going on with the masculine at the minute, okay? I'm noticing this with myself. Yes, your own internal masculine, yes, if you're a female, but also our partners, our sons, our fathers, the masculine around us, okay? And they're really being asked to reflect. They're really being asked to go within. What I'm also hearing is it's important to understand your masculine energy, whether you're male or female. For example, I understand that my masculine, so your masculine is your Mars energy if you do your birth chart. Whatever sign that is in, do a wee bit of research on that. Like mine is Gemini. So when I think there was a Gemini new moon there, so a lot of stuff was coming up for me around that. So it's just so that you are aware, okay? I'm just being drawn to, I just want to tune in to see, I'm seeing a lot of men need to do healing. We have healer of the ages, but a lot of men are being asked to step up as healers. They're being asked to step forward. And that's where their abundance lies, to be honest. There's the thinking man. So you're thinking about this and thinking about that. And I would encourage you to stop the thinking and to feel. Look at him. He's thinking and looking into this crystal with so much focus. If he just listens up, even what he's wearing is very rigid. He's got a lot of shamanic energy with the feathers in his cap. He has achievement there. For anybody watching this, and this, you could be female watching this, but this is really resonating with you if you're predominantly masculine as a female, but also for your partner if they're going through some stuff and maybe you don't understand, but this might resonate, okay? So it's this achievement. You've got everything, but you're still not happy. It's because you haven't had, it hasn't been that deep passion what lights you up, because all the abundance and things in the world, it really doesn't matter at the end of the day. So, it's looking into this crystal to find the answers instead of feeling into the crystal, instead of jumping into the crystal, going on a shamanic journey, sitting with yourself, stepping into a flow. a feminine. So, come out of the mind and into the heart is what I'm hearing. Out of the mind and into the heart. So this might be for many. If there's anybody out there struggling mentally, I know I can go off and want to just overthink, and it's so hard to bring that back. So what I do is I realize that it's not all me. So I realize that I have to cut some cords. And then I grind my energy, I nurture myself, maybe been overworking, and I try and sink into my heart, and I don't ignore the stuff around me. I hold a part of me that maybe is overthinking, realizing it's maybe not me as I am now in this age. It could be another part of me. I go, right, when was I okay? What has triggered me? What is that lesson? What is that trying to tell me? How did that make me feel? What's the emotion? Am I feeling it anywhere in my body? What does that chakra mean? What is the emotion held in that area? And then I connect back to when was the first time I felt this emotion? Okay, and try and see if any memories come up. If you cannot do that, conversations that you have with people, maybe photographs that you've seen, like it will be all around you if you just stop and look. So we've been asked to stop the overthinking, stop with the mind stuff. Affirmations are great, but not if they're not integrated. The mental body and the physical body is the masculine. That is great. If you've got that sorted, then you need to come into the feminine, okay, which is your spiritual and your emotional body. You can't move forward without both. Okay, so that's what I'm hearing. Many of us are just, there's a lot going on up here at the minute. So a bit of healing. Call in your connection to God or Jesus or your higher self, or go, see a healer like myself. Do your own healing. You have the power, you have it all within you, okay? But also there is a big call here, because I'm hearing for the masculine to step forward as a healer, but also for those that are healers to step forward and help men more, and sons as well, boys, the masculine, are masculine. And that is where the abundance lies. Look at that big coin. Look at the difference between him and him. Now, do you see the relaxedness? With the clothing, he's let the hair grow, he's in a garden, he's happier. I had a beautiful divine masculine in yesterday, and I was like, what makes you happy? What lights you up? What would you like to do? And he didn't know. Most people don't know, by the way. So when I asked that question, it's a really good question to ask, okay, for everybody. But I think there is a lot of pressure with the masculine to provide, and then they ignore their own stuff. So that's why I think this compassion is coming in, this commitment. So yes, this is sort of going back and forth here, depending on who's watching, that this can be a masculine in your life, or if you're a masculine watching it, or it can be your own masculine energy. Because if you are, feminine, you're being asked to step into your divine masculine and away from the distorted masculine. So the distorted masculine, if you think of masculine as action and sun and moving forward as we move towards the solstice, and that is from a beautiful balanced feminine and masculine place, not an ego place, not a power, not a control, okay? And it's a flow. It's compassionate. There's a vulnerability. Whereas the distorted masculine energy is this doing and overdoing and overworking and, putting other people's needs first and for all of that stuff, And I think it's interesting that this is coming up as we move towards the solstice, because that is the sun. The sun is the masculine, okay? It is our action. It is our abundance. But we're being asked to review that, I suppose. I've had to do an awful lot of work on my masculine, and I avoided it, and I avoided it, and I avoided it. it was just too hard, and it was just procrastinating until a situation came and I just had no choice, which is what happens. You know, yeah. But I'm ever so grateful for it now. And there can be a lot of pressure put on that masculine to do and to provide, but it's important to stop and go, how do you want that to look? Like, I just, your masculine is your career, your masculine is, your job, it is what you do. I used to do, if you imagine it, when I look at my job previously, which was marketing manager in sales, before that for alcoholic drinks. And I just was overworked. I was stressed. I just wasn't fulfilled in it. Yes, I was good at it, but it wasn't like a fulfillment and a passion, and it made me really sick, actually. But it also got me here because I got sick. And then I went and had a food intolerance test done, and realised I was allergic to practically everything, and then I realised that a lot of that was emotional. It was all suppressed stuff from childhood, blah, 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 blah. I'm not feeling good enough. Went back to feeling my 11 plus, choosing a career that wasn't aligned with me, but it was what it was. And it got me to here to do this. But it took some time. I changed my career. Yeah, I left whenever I was pregnant with her. So she is 12 and a half, coming up to 13. So it was 12 years ago I've been doing this, but I've been taking my time with it. Learning skills, understanding, raising my family, looking at what's right. So just take your time with it, all right? But it is so worth it now to be waking up every day and just loving what I do. I don't associate it with the word work. It is my passion, it is my dream, it is my mission, is what I'm here to do. And if there's any parts of me, I've had to restructure a few times. I've changed the business name 3 times because I'm just constantly evolving and growing myself. And as a healer, you must do your own work to be this clear channel. And that is why I'm good at what I do, because I'm constantly working on myself. It never stops. As irritating as it can be. So yeah, sorry, I went off on a tangent there. Bring this back. So just as we close, let's ask for some guidance from the angels. I love this wee deck. One of my male clients bought me this, actually. Did he? Or gave it to me? He did, I think so. No, he didn't. Or did I buy it? No. He bought me something. He bought me another deck, yes. I think I bought this one. But yeah. Okay, so let's tune in to what we need collectively. Some guidance, please, from the angels. Okay, so get more information. So whatever you're going through at the minute, you need maybe some guidance, whether you go to a healer or a coach, or you just sit with yourself and do some journaling, or go for a walk, or meditate. You need some more information, okay? If you're going, we have compromise, and I've just been noticing these C's: commitment, compassion, compromise. Compromising is not giving in. Compromising is not giving up, okay? It's just being the bigger person, okay? Finding that balance and compromising your own life, okay? Yes, ask your angels. That's what I'm getting, is just to go within, and you will receive the abundance. Look at that. That's what this gin is all about, is receiving the abundance. Listen to your intuition. This is really, really important. And say no. Say no. Okay. Say no more than yes at the minute is what I'm hearing, okay? We can be inclined to say yes to everything and just sort of self-abandon ourselves and ignore our own needs. So intuition is key. The answers are all around us. We do not need to prove, just trust in your heart. When I always like in this internal work, like I always see it in the heart, and I see the heart is the bridge between upper chakras, the lower chakras. You know, the upper is obviously the mind, and then the lower is, you know, in the body, and the heart is the bridge between the two. But I just see a lot of heart chakra stuff. You know, you can have different energies and different fears and different chakras, but they all usually connect back to the heart. And I always liken it to, this beautiful crystal that's in the heart, and then just lots of layers and layers and layers have been you put on top of it. And when you do this internal work, you lift a layer and you lift a layer and you lift a layer, almost like if you visualize this beautiful rose and you're just lifting the petals nice and gently. You don't want to just pull it all away, you know, that's just too much. So you're lifting layer, lifting layer, lifting layer. And you have your head, your heart, and, you know, your womb area, or your lower base chakra if you're males, okay? These are three very important energy centers. And sometimes, you know, our intuition is not in our mind, okay? That's where we overthink and we actually talk ourselves out of it. The first thing that comes to mind is generally your intuition, where you don't actually think, you don't overthink. It's just you feel it in your gut. That gut, that's why it's called that gut feeling, that gut instinct. You know, and with intuition, you know, we have different skills. We can hear, we can feel in our body, we can just know, or we can see. Those four particular skills, you know, and you might be stronger in one more than the other, but the signs are around us, you know, the signs are in numbers and numerology, and, you know, see, even with your children, with their homework, different topics that come in, songs that you hear, like, we have an array of guidance around us, our loved ones, our guides, our angels, our, you know, animal guides. We are not on our own, but you must stop and have a daily practice of some sort, to listen, to hear, to course correct, to look, you know, just to think. And I often say this to my children, and I am so concerned about the young ones. I really, really am, because they don't give themselves a break. They are literally, you know, on those phones, and, you know, just they can't sit still for a minute, because they're used to this constant distraction. I feel this is a pandemic in itself, and I actually so don't know what to do about it. So I'm trying to, you know, work with my own children and space and time out and phones, but it's really, really difficult. I'm really struggling with it, I have to say. But, you know, if we can't do it as adults, they're watching us. So we gotta start with us, if that makes sense, you know. Be the leader. Be the change you want to see in the world, I suppose, is what I'm saying, okay? And to do that, you need to say no to things. To say no that are probably distractions, that really aren't serving you, that are just filling that void. You know, creativity, you know, happens in the place of quiet and the place of boredom, you know, so that we can move towards this abundance. And that is maybe the commitment that is required with whatever you're calling in. So if you're getting frustrated, you're being asked to step into your masculine. You're being asked to, right, what commitment do I need to make? And be patient with yourself between now and Yule, now and the winter solstice, now and Christmas, which is, you know, as we enter a new number 1 year, okay, next year. All right, so I'm going to close that now. Thank you for watching and listening, and I'm wishing you a lovely June. And I don't know, hopefully I will get back maybe to do another video or a meditation or activation or something, but I will keep you posted. All right, much love.